Hello. Chaka. Yep, day 23. I'm already home from my biopsy. And I am not gonna lie. Look, I got spinach in my teeth. That's funny. Clean. Anywhere else? Okay. That's what looking at a camera will do to you. And I'm not primping for any of these, so you get to see me as is. All right, ready for some gory details? If you're not, don't listen, because this was not freaking fun. I've kind of been in tears all morning. I went in nervous, and they used my port that now has a bandage on it. Poor little, where is it? Poor little thing. That didn't feel good. Not pleased with that. But it's new, it's fresh, it's still bruised. But it's still better than trying to go into my my lack of veiny arm. So once the port was in, it's then it was fine. Everything went through that. But I was not out for this procedure. I was not out for this procedure. So they wheel me into this CT room. There's a CT scan machine thing in there. And they roll me on my stomach. So I'm back facing up. And the reason being, they need to look at the position of the tumor that's in my liver, because this is a liver biopsy. And so they roll me in, that thing does its scan, they roll me out, the doctor comes back out, and he's a nice guy. He's, like I said, he's the same guy that did my port. So I already had a little bit of a relationship with him. It's like, okay, I know this guy, and the other guys were really nice, and so he rolls me out and he says, okay, we're not going to go into your liver. We're going to use your, oh my God, spacing on the name, the lymph node, because there's cancer in the lymph node. He says, but that's a good thing, because taking a biopsy, several out of a liver is a far more dangerous biopsy. And the position of your tumor is too high, it's next to your lung, and we can't enter it without going through the lung, and we're not going to do that because then it's totally different surgery. He says, so that's actually a good thing. There's a lot less, danger coming out of this procedure. There won't be a 2-hour observation window to make sure I'm not bleeding out or something crazy, because when the liver gets attacked, it has a lot of blood vessels that run through it. So they go into my lymph node. So mind you, I'm on my stomach, and they keep wheeling me in and out of the CT scan because they're taking images, and they're putting tape on my back, and they're marking exactly where the exact area of my lymph node that they're going to enter through my back to take these biopsies. So I keep thinking, when are these drugs going to kick in? Because I am so not feeling loopy. And so he's back there, and the nurse guy is, so I'm going to tear up. He starts holding my hand because he knows what's going on. Hold on. Oh, it was such a sucky procedure. So they, he goes, I'm going to put in the, I guess it's lidocaine, so the whole numbing agent. But I could feel what's going on, and then he'd numb, and I could feel the numbing agent kind of like seeping in, and then he would take another CT scan, and, it's like they're measuring exactly where they need to be. And I'm just holding still, and I've got a pillow, I'm like, my chest is kind of up on a pillow, and then I have a pillow for my head, and I'm just like buried my face into the pillow, and my port's all kinked, and my freaking, my mask is suffocating me. I ripped it off my face. I'm like, I hope you don't mind. And they're like, no. You need to breathe. Kind of important. So, and so every time they had to push me back into the CT scan, you know, he'd release my hand and I'm like, I'm alone again. And then as soon as I'd come back out, he'd hold my hand, and then the procedure is doing its thing, and every once in a while I would feel this, and I'm not gonna say it was painful. I'm not gonna like exaggerate, because it wasn't like painful. It was, there's something going in your body, in your organs. In your organs. Things don't go in your organs. So it's a very bizarre kind of a pain. And he's pumping in pain meds and lidocaine, I believe that's it, to numb it and to numb it and to numb it. And then he'd wait, and then he'd numb it, and then he'd go into another area. And I'm like, and at one point, you know, my leg lifts back, and I'm like, and he goes, okay, I'm gonna shoot some more lidocaine in there, and which he did. But it's like, I'm so observant of everything, and I'm so visual, and I'm just seeing and feeling every little thing that's happening to me. I can just see the numbing agent flowing down into my back and around my organs. And okay, so this is where it gets gory. They took 8 biopsies. And each time, and it's a loud clicking sound because it goes chink, you know, chink. And it's just, you know, I'm just laying there. I'm like, okay, they're doing this because they want me to heal. They want me to heal. They want me to heal. Everybody's sending me love, you know, so going through my mantra. Oh man, it just wouldn't end fast enough. It was so invasive, and I'm wide awake. I could feel everything. I could hear everything. They were very kind. They were very good. This, again, was over at Angela's clinic. And he goes, I'm going to take one more. Are you good? I'm like, yeah, go do it. You know, because we're going to get all these, you know, genomic testing and for the research and for, you know, for my labs, for everything. We're there, get as much as possible. So when we're done, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad this is over with. And I just sort of lay my head on this pillow. And yes, I was kind of tearing throughout the whole thing, not crying, but just like, can't believe I'm going through this. And I said, so, show me the samples, because now you're done. Let's see what this is all about. And he does. And they put the samples in this little container. And it had 8 biopsy samples in it. It was kind of cool. They look like fish poop. If you've ever had like a goldfish, that's the size of these biopsies. They're about, you know, an inch-ish and super fine, like a little worm. The red ones were the healthier cells, and speckled with white, not healthy cells, and the white ones that are more not healthy, unhealthy, they would sink to the bottom because I guess they're a little bit heavier. So that was fascinating. I'm just like staring at this, you know, it's like, whoa, that's cool. I'm like, show me the needle. The needle was that big, about 7 inches. No freaking wonder I was feeling this. I will be thinking about this because it's in my brain what I can feel. So every once in a while I go back there and I just sort of like hold on to something because it was so uncomfortable. It was just bad. It was just weird. It was just weird. It was uncomfortable. It was just kind of one of those sickening feelings. So the needle's this big, and it's a heavy gauge type needle because the needle for the biopsy goes inside of this needle, and then the biopsy, it just goes kink, and it sucks up like this little fish poop size. And then they put it in the container, and so the main fat needle, it doesn't move. It's in the right spot. But what it does is every time the probing needle, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is just kind of what I took in, what he was explaining to me, and my visual, what I was seeing. The little biopsy needle would just go in, and they could just like alter the position just a little bit, chink, and that was the clicking sound, chink, and then it would move a little bit, chink, and so they took 8 of those out of my lymph node. So I was so glad it was done. Oh. So instead of them monitoring me for 2 hours, I lay there for 30 minutes. And they brought Matthew in, so he actually got to sit with me. That was nice. And that, of course, is when I started tearing up because, you know, I felt more safe and like home. And then once we got in the car, I just couldn't stop crying because that was not fun. Oh man, that was an adventure. That was an adventure I don't want to have to go on again. But you never know what you're in for. Every day is such a different experience. So that was my day. I'm home now. The doctor says you'll feel a little something something. That was a big freaking needle. All the way through my back into my lymph node, wherever the heck that is. Deep inside. I thought they were gonna go through my stomach. What do I know, right? So anyway, I'm home. I already took my Tylenol, a full one. I don't want to feel anything, thank you very much. I actually just ate. I felt good. I had some more of that salmon, some fresh sauteed spinach, get some nutrients in me. I'm gonna try to drink a shake, but I need to, so I will, because it's healthy, full of calories. I start chemo on Monday. So I'm going to drink my shake. I'm going to lay in bed. I'm planning to fall asleep and do nothing for the rest of the day because that's what they said to do. Don't do a lot. And if you can, do nothing. Okay. If you're in pain, put ice on it or heat, whatever you're comfortable with. And you're a good patient. So cheers to that. I am signing off. Just another day in the life of cancer. All right. Love you. Love me. I really do. All right. Mwah. Talk to y'all soon.